everyone, welcome back. I am Nicole and this is Let Knit Be Sew. It's my little corner of the interweb where I share mostly sewing but also some knitting, general craftiness and creativity. But today, well, again, for you it's Friday, for me it's Thursday, so that means it is time for another Friday Sews catch up, which is the hashtag started by Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for sewing creators to share their week in crafting, what they've been up to. To kick things off with what I'm wearing, today I have got on one of my Linden Sweatshirts, so I'm just going to levitate up a little bit so you can see. So this is a colour blocked version, most of mine are, so I've got this really nice cream speckly French terry for the arms, and then everything else is done in this sort of pastely watercolour type floral French terry that has been around for quite some time, so I'm pretty sure the shop I got it from actually doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately, but yeah, I've done everything in that. I've done the cuffs, neckband, the front and the back pieces, and the hemband as well, all in the patterned fabric. So yeah, I don't know why I've just reached for this because I wanted a sweatshirt, but I feel like it is a little bit like more spring because it's like pastely, so yeah, I do want to add to my sweatshirt collection over the next few months with stuff that's a bit more wintry, but yeah, I still really like this, and I've just got like a little vest top on underneath it. Like, I could get a long sleeve t-shirt on under it if I wanted to, but then sometimes I don't like it when you can like see your top, like where your neck is, because I think it looks weird. So that's why I've just got like a vest top on, and then I can always throw one of my chunky cardigans on over the top if I'm still a bit too cold. Okay, so in a not probably that helpful for a Friday Sews catch up, I haven't actually done any sewing this week, which is quite rare for me. I think this is the first week in a long time that I haven't done any sewing. I've done a tiny bit of knitting. It was my knit group's weekly Zoom call last night, so I did a tiny bit of knitting on that whilst we were chatting. But yeah, I haven't done any sewing, and I think the main reason is just been a bit flat because remember, if you have been watching my previous videos, at the start of October I got the shingles, and I had medicine for that, and it had seemed to be doing okay. The rash was healing over, everything seemed to be going well. And then, yeah, at the end of last week, I noticed what looked to be some very tiny, like even tinier than the fairly small ones that had come up before, new little red dots in the same place. So yeah, I took myself off to my GP, who said, yeah, they are some new blisters. So I have been given another round of the medicine, which I'm due to finish tomorrow, thankfully, because it's quite a chore taking tablets 5 times a day with 4-hour gaps in between. So yeah, just felt a little bit flat and not unwell. Like, I don't feel unwell at all, which I think is almost the frustrating thing. I think sometimes if you feel unwell, you sort of, feel justified in wallowing in it a little bit, I guess, and feeling like you should rest and recover. But when you don't feel unwell, you're kind of like, what's going on here? So yeah, I just felt a bit down, a bit dispirited, because I thought it was all in hand, and apparently it wasn't. So yeah, fingers crossed, having had a second round of the medicine will finally have given it the kick that it needs to stop it coming up again. But yeah, I just haven't really felt that much like sewing. But I do have a bunch of plans, so that's what I'll talk to you about today, and fingers crossed next week I will have some sewing to show you. Okay, so I talked last week about wanting to make a jogger set from some ponte roma that I've had in my stash for a long time. I didn't show you it last time, but just to show you it again, it's very on brand for me. It's just this like teal ponte roma that I've got 3 meters of, and I'm going to make the Stella Joggers, and I'm going to make a Megan Nielsen Jarrah sweatshirt with the funnel neck. So yesterday I got my printer out and printed off, because for whatever reason when I originally printed off the pattern I only printed off, I think that pattern has like it tells you for the different views, because there's like 4 different views, it tells you like what pages to print for whichever version you wanted to make, and so I think I just, because I wasn't interested in making that version, I didn't print off that. So it was only 3 pages to print off and stick together, so that wasn't too terrible. So yeah, I've printed off the funnel neck. I don't want to do the like sleeve and hem that goes with that. I want to just do the normal hemband and cuffs option, but just with the funnel neck instead of, you know, the neckband that's like this. So that's going to happen. I've got 2 evenings this week, tomorrow and tonight and tomorrow, where there's football on that I'll be watching, so I'm quite happy to sit on the floor and do some cutting out whilst the football's on in the background. So hopefully I'll get, maybe not all my plans cut out, but at least a couple to like get me going, because I feel like when you're in a bit of a like do I really want to sew mood, I think having something already cut out ready to go is generally the best thing, because you can just get cracking. Because yeah, I mean, maybe there are some people out there who really love cutting things out, but for me, I'm just like, I just want to get going on the sewing. So yeah, so that's that plan. And then I was also looking at stuff for so Stash Hub are going to be celebrating their 2nd birthday, and I've forgotten exactly what the hashtag is for the challenge. It's something like "sew to celebrate." I'll put it up so that you can see, because I've had a brain blank moment as to what it is. But essentially, there's a challenge running over November to celebrate their 2nd anniversary, where everyone is going to sew 2 meters of a cotton fabric into something, and I think there's going to be some, you know, there's some prizes and things for people that post photos of their finished pieces at the end of the month with the hashtag. So yeah, I was thinking, what do I have that, you know, I was already thinking about making, perhaps, that I, you know, encompasses that challenge theme, which is obviously, you know, a pretty easy challenge theme. Like, it's not restricted to any particular type of cotton, so it could be cotton jersey, it could be you know, cotton lawn, it could be another, you know, it could be denim. So I think it's a really good challenge to, you know, give you something to have to work to like meet the challenge, but it's not too tricky. So first up, this is so wrinkled. It's been in the wash because I gave it a refresh. So I've been talking about the Pippi Pinafore and wanting to cut it out of the corduroy that I have, which I still haven't done. But I also really want a denim one. I did have a denim one in the past, but because I wore the Pinafore so much because I loved it, it eventually needed to be you know, consigned to the scrap basket, because yeah, it was not looking too great. So I really want another denim one, because obviously that means it basically goes with anything that I might want to layer it with or wear over the top. So so yeah, I don't remember, this has been in my stash for quite some time now, I don't remember where it came from, but it's just you know, a medium weight, sort of medium to dark wash denim. It's got a little bit of stretch, but yeah, that I want to make into a pippy. When I was doing my autumn plans video, I talked about an inspiration from the clothing brand Suzanne, where they had, theirs was actually like dungarees rather than a pinafore, where they had incorporated a ruffle into the straps. So they had the bib, you had like the bib coming up into the straps, and the straps had a ruffle, and I quite like the idea of that. So I've got obviously 2 meters here, and I think pippy, generally speaking, takes 1.5, and I'm not sure if I've done it on the pattern or not. I haven't got the full pattern out, but I did like shorten mine because I wanted it to be a bit more like just above the knee. So I definitely have plenty, so I just will need to figure out what sort of length I would need to cut some ruffle pieces. So I would like to give that a try. Obviously, if I don't like the way it looks, then I don't have to, I don't have to use it. So it might just end up being the usual pippy pinafore straps. But yeah, I do want to give it a go. So yeah, that is one possibility for that challenge. I also want to make another shirt. So I like the oversized shirt look, wearing over t-shirts and one thing and another. And I've had this like brushed cotton in my stash for quite some time. I bought it, I think, from Bombay stores at a knitting and stitching show a long time ago. And yeah, it's this nice blue check with a little bit of pink in the squares. So yeah, I really want to make another shirt. I think I will probably make an ollier just because I've made that once and I really like the look. I do have the Deer and Doe Bruyere shirt, which is also one that I might consider, but I think probably I'll make an ollier. And again, there's 2 meters here, so I don't know, obviously because shirts, and particularly with checks, whether that's enough. I'll have to see when I lay out all the pattern pieces, because obviously because of the way that the ollier works with the sleeve insertion, I'm not necessarily sure whether I'll be able to do anything fancy with, maybe changing directions with the checks for like the yoke and stuff. That might be something that I think about. I also think, like, wouldn't it be cool to have some like pink piping? That would be quite fun, wouldn't it? But I don't have any piping, so and I've never done piping except on a cushion that was really quite bad, so maybe we won't do piping. But yeah, I want to make this into a shirt. And then the third cotton fabric that I have 2 meters of is again something that's been in my stash for quite a while, and I think I've struggled to know what to do with it because it's quite a big print. So it's this Cotton Lawn, which is a Lady McElroy fabric. Ooh, trying to show you, it's difficult because the print is so big. Yes, there's Lady McElroy Cotton Lawn, and it's got these beautiful big cranes on it, but you can see like that is like at least 2 of my face big, so it's quite a big print. So I think that when you when you're thinking about what to make, you don't necessarily want to make stuff that has too many like little details, because you're just going to lose that. You're just going to have cranes with no heads, or just like little bits of their tail and stuff. Like if you have lots of if you have something really detailed with lots of small pieces to cut out. So I think I want to make a skirt with it, and I recently bought a new skirt pattern, which is the Natalie skirt from Forget Me Not Patterns. I saw Becky from Notes from the Sewing Room did a video recently about some skirts for autumn, and the Natalie skirt, I think, after making the Sabina skirt recently, which I shared with you guys out of the viscose, and not really liking the shape on me, when I saw that video I was like, oh, that's the skirt I'm looking for. And it has like two options. It has sort of just an A-line panelled skirt, and it also has one that kind of has like a more of a flared look, and I think that's the one I would probably want to make with this. And I think I think it's still gonna be, this pattern is still, this big print is still going to be like broken up, but I think it is so big that unless you are making something like, say, like a robe, with like grown on sleeves where you've got like, a couple of pattern pieces at best, like, or just a really, really long circle skirt, there's, I think there's a balance to be found between something that doesn't have lots of tiny detailed pieces that will get lost in a big print, versus something which has, bigger, but also you are going to have your big print like divided up to a certain degree. So yeah, that is what I think I want to make with this. So yeah, I'd like to make the flared version. It also has like a version, there's two kind of like waistbands on it. So there's one that's just kind of like a normal waistband, and then there's one that kind of sort of does that. It's sort of like a raised waistband, and it's got a tie belt, and I quite like that one. So I think that would be the one that I would do. I think it is 2 meters of fabric, so yeah. So yeah, that is the other plan in terms of sewing for the Stash Hub Celebrate challenge. I will put what it's actually called up here or in the description box and link to it, so you guys know what the hell I'm talking about, because I have completely forgotten the order that the words go in for the actual hashtag. Apologies. Okay, so yeah, that's my plans for probably over the next month or so. We will see. We've almost done a week of November in full already, which is kind of wild. It's time is just evaporating. But yeah, I have also been doing a little bit of fabric shopping. So I have some fabric that's due to be delivered today that I got from Fabric Godmother, which is for a Christmas party dress. Yeah, so we're having a winter party in December for work, so I wanted to make a party dress for that. I made one last year, which was the Pauline Alice Aldea dress, in some sparkly blue, sort of kind of like scuba jersey. But yeah, I want to make something else. I'm going to do a separate video on that to talk about my plans for that fabric. It's not especially festive. The theme I mentioned a few weeks ago, the theme for the party this year is 70s disco, which I don't feel like fits with my usual aesthetic. So I've picked a fabric which I think is like has a fun vibe, and that I can get some big earrings and whatnot to wear with it. But yeah, I didn't want to get something that was not very me and that I wouldn't wear again, because I don't feel like that's a good investment in my wardrobe if it's something that I will never wear again. So yeah, there will be a separate video coming shortly on that once that fabric is here. I've also ordered some fabric from Rainbow Fabrics, as they were having their 40% off sale. But yeah, that's obviously, they have had a lot of orders, so I'm still waiting for that to arrive. And I've also ordered some fabric to make a Christmas gift. I don't think anyone who knows me in real life watches these videos, but if you do, like, close your ears for the next like 1 to 2 minutes. My knitting group, we do a Secret Santa each year, and so we're doing that again this year. And yeah, I wanted to make a gift, so I have some cotton canvas fabric coming from the Crafty Mastermind for that project. I had all of the other bits and pieces, fortunately, in my stash, so yes, a little bit of gift sewing coming up shortly. But yeah, none of it is here yet to show you, so apologies that I'm just talking theoretical for you, at least. It's like my purse has actually paid for these, but you know, they're still theoretical until they are brought by the postie. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's all of the sewing adjacent content, shall we say, in lieu of actual sewing having happened. So what else is happening? So I mentioned a few weeks ago, but it's coming up on this Saturday, the yarn and knitting / crochet event that my friend is running in Woolwich, which is called Make Joy. So that is on Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that. I haven't actually bought any yarn that wasn't like commercial yarn in quite a while. I was trying to think last night on the Zoom call. Last time I bought sort of like yarn from a independent, you know, hand dyer, stuff like that. Yeah, it's been a while, because yeah, I just you know, knitting obviously isn't very quick, and haven't been to many yarn shows lately. So yeah, it'll be nice to squish some yarn in person. There's some talks as well happening throughout the day, and yeah, just hopefully get a little bit of knitting inspiration during that time, so that'll be good. I think that's kind of it, really. It's not really been a lot else going, like I say. It's been a bit flat, but I have been watching, so I like having like a long series to watch, because you know, so much telly these days gets like cancelled after like one series, and then you're like, oh, I got invested in these characters, and now I don't get to hear what happens to them. So I've been watching, because I'd never watched it before. I think I'd maybe like caught bits and pieces over the years, like maybe channel hopping, but I'd never really sat down and properly watched it. But Disney Plus has all the episodes of Criminal Minds on it. So I think I'm on series 7, and I think there's about 16. So you know, I've got plenty to keep me going. But yeah, sometimes I find that I then like forget about like new things, and I've put loads of reminders on. There's like all of the cheesy Christmas movies are starting to come onto Netflix, which, you know, everyone likes a good cheesy Christmas themed movie, just, you know, for something light-hearted that doesn't require too much brain thought, to just keep you going when things are a bit rubbish, especially. So yeah, I've got reminders on for those, but I've also been watching that series with Kristen Bell and Adam Brody, the guy who was in the OC, which I never watched as a teenager. Was it Nobody Wants This? And yeah, I've been really enjoying that. And it's a bit annoying because the episodes are only sort of like, you know, less than like 25 minutes, I think, most of them. But yeah, I've been really enjoying that. Again, just like not too much thought, like, but yeah, feel good, and the characters are quirky and stuff. Like, I've been enjoying that. But yeah, I think there's probably a lot of Christmas movies in my future over the next month or so, whilst I am, you know, hopefully getting some sewing done in between as well. All right, I'm going to stop waffling. Somehow I've been talking at this camera for 27 minutes despite the fact that I haven't sewn a single stitch this week, which is impressive, I think. So on that note, I am going to head off. Thank you so much everyone for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, please do like and subscribe, and also go and search the hashtag Friday Sews to find other sewing folks like myself who are sharing their creative week. I think next week hopefully I'll have 2 videos again. Probably the other video will be my plans for the Christmas party dress. But yeah, that's everything for this week. Thank you so much for being here. I hope everyone has a great weekend and lots of time to sew or do whatever other crafty pursuits your heart desires, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye.